Hello and welcome back to our channel on how we move the decimal. And this video we're just going to do a quick 20-minute list with me. I think I listed 10 or 11 items. I'm again using these videos to keep myself more organized, keep myself accountable, and trying to get more listings done. I will say since I've started doing these videos, I have listed more frequently and photographed more frequently. I just spent the last weekend photographing. So hopefully I will have that video up soon. But again, like I said before, I don't photograph every day. I don't photograph every month. I may photograph every other month. I am diligently trying to get through the death pile in my dining room and the death pile in my basement and even a little bit in our garage. That being said, I'm ending up donating more than I thought I would out of this. This listing here that I'm currently doing, it's a lot of my son's jeans. He outgrew them. So with children's clothing, like I've said before, I like to sell those in lots. They tend to sell better in lots. Because of hand-me-downs and stuff, I don't sell a lot of children's clothing until they've been through all three of my children. But we will see more of my son's clothing than my daughter's because they are currently still being worn by the youngest. So I do lot things up when it comes to children's clothing. Uh, Usually around here in the Midwest where I'm at, we can get children's clothing from 25 cents to $1 at rummage sales. So if I was so inclined, I could probably buy larger lots and sell them that way. But honestly, that doesn't sound fun to me. I don't mind selling my own, but I'm not going to go out of my way to go buy children's clothing and sell them in lots. We do not have any consignment stores in my area that I can easily get to and co-sign stuff. So it either gets listed on eBay, I sell it in my own rummage sale, or it gets donated. I do donate probably 2/3 of my children's clothes just because they've worn them out, especially with both the girls. They go through clothes quite quickly. I don't know how they manage it. My son, his clothes aren't as bad, but my daughters, they do go through their clothes. So a lot of their stuff does not get listed. It gets thrown away or donated, unfortunately, because they've just gone through it. The Back to what I was talking about, I started going through some death pile stuff this past weekend. We started going through and consolidating some tubs in our inventory, and I found out looking at my eBay listings, I wondered why. I really want to stay around 500. 500 seems to be my sweet spot, my lucky number. And if I can stay around 500, my sales tend to do better. And I realized I dropped very quickly to the low 400s and I couldn't figure out what was going on. So my husband and myself decided to do inventory this past weekend. And I looked at eBay and I realized 65 listings had dropped off. And what was very odd, and I don't know if it was a glitch in the system, and I don't want to complain or bitch about eBay or blame eBay for any of this, but it was 3 very specific lots. So, like I've said before in my past videos, this is in tub 72. So what I'm listing out now is in tub 72. Well, 3 specific tubs had just dropped off. One of them was a tub completely full of books. Another one was a tub completely full of vintage, like bed sheets and pillowcases, and the other was a lot of slides, all dropped off. And I was looking at the listings or I was looking at the items that I had, and the numbers were almost consecutive. So and they were in the 60s, and I realized I had no 60s listed. And I went through my eBay store again, no 60s. So none of my 60s. I went straight from 50s to 70s. And the 3 that had dropped off were 60s. So I don't know what happened there. It's a little fishy that it was those three tubs. They were the only 360s I had left, and they were completely gone. So luckily, like I said before, I store all of my photos in a Google Photo. So I have a specific email/Google account that goes for my eBay store, and I just drop all the photos I take into there. And once a year or so, I'll go through and delete photos of things that have sold that I don't need anymore. But luckily, I did have all of my photos saved in my Google account, and I was able to go back and pull all those photos. So lucky for you guys, you're going to have a listing videos of me pulling these up from Google Photos and relisting all of these listings. I'm going back and forth on how to label them though, because I don't know how long they were up. And like I've stated before, I've gotten rid of all my 1 through 10s, all my 10 through 20s. I just got rid of all my 20s. So now I only have tubs that start from 30 on. So do I assume that they were up long enough to list them back in the 60s, or do I start over? Do I list them continue in the 70s? So I just photographed this weekend and I did tub 73 and 74. So when I relist these, do I relist them as tub 75 and 76 and 77? So I'm not sure how to list that because I really do use that order of tubs to track my inventory. But again, I don't know when they dropped off. I don't know if they were up a week. I don't know if they were up 9 months. I just know when I went to do my inventory at the end of the year, they weren't there. And I guess this should be a reminder to everybody to do inventory. And I should probably do inventory more often so it doesn't come back and bite me at the end of the year. So if I would have done inventory quarterly, so every 4 months, I may have caught this sooner. If I did it every month, I may have caught it sooner, but quite frankly, I don't have the time to do it every month. I could probably scroll through my eBay store and make sure that I have the numbers there. It was just so, it's such a conspiracy theorist of me, but it was just so odd that just my tubs in the 60s were gone, which means I listed them also around the same time within the same month, more than likely. So that was odd to me. And some of the books are high sell items, so it kind of surprised me that they weren't selling. Well, I guess they weren't selling because the listing had dropped off. So I need to go back and go through that. And I found like 5 or 6 other items that were in other tubs that were no longer listed. And that's what I normally expect. So every year when I do inventory at the end of the year, I expect less than 10 items to be in oh, that's not listed anymore. What happened there? And I did have less than 10 items in all of my other tubs that had dropped off. Sometimes it's because someone bought them and they were returned and they may not have got relisted or something else happened. Or a lot of times I do end listing and sell similar. So maybe there was an error or something and they didn't get pulled back up, or maybe there was a required item specific that happened and I didn't fix it in time, so they dropped off. And that will happen a lot after like major updates. So like the spring update, fall update, if they update the categories, if they update item specifics. Right now, I have a whole bunch of slides waiting to be updated. They're going to have required item specifics very soon, and I have not updated them. And I do believe I have around 45 listings there that I need to go in and update. The last big item specific update they had last spring, I had 193 items I had to go in and update and figure that all out. So they might have dropped off with that maybe, but I have to figure out why that happened and why it was just the tubs in the 60s and just this. And there were very specific categories. So books, vintage, linens, and slides. So those are very specific categories. Uh, Again, around the same time. So maybe when they went to renew, they didn't renew because eBay does automatic item renewal, listing renewal. So maybe they didn't renew there. I'm not sure. Again, there's really nothing I can do about it. eBay's not going to go find them magically for me. I'm going to have to relist them. But I'm also looking and I'm going, okay, is it worth relisting this? Has the value changed? Has it become more valuable or less valuable? And this happens a lot. And when doing your listings and when doing your inventory, go through your inventory and go, okay, are these no longer as desirable as they were? When we're looking at this, think about certain brands of jeans, certain styles. The 90s is coming back huge right now, which is lucky for me because my mother kept all of my stuff from high school and early college. So I went and cleaned out my closet at her house, and I've got chunky shoes, I've got weird wide leg jeans, all of the stuff that's coming back. Grunge is also coming back, kind of, along with the 90s stuff. So it's maybe more desirable for me to list that stuff right now. One of the things that's becoming so saturated that it's no longer desirable is 7 for Mankind dojo jeans. If I could get my hands on those, I used to be able to sell them fairly quickly for around $50. I've had several in my store for around $50 that are just sitting. I sold one recently for $30, for a best offer of $30, just to get rid of it because it was going to be cycled out of my store very soon because I'd had it for that long. Other things, unfortunately for myself, I am in the Midwest. I am very limited on types of brands I can get. One of my good, consistent sellers, one of the brands I can rely on is Carhartt, and right now people are boycotting Carhartt. So I've seen a drastic dip in sales there. That being said, a lot of people are also donating their Carhartt because they no longer agree with what's going on with them. So I can pick them up at thrift stores now. They're going to be more readily available and they may be cheaper priced because they've been sitting on the shelves for too long. So when this blows over and people are back to wearing Carhartt again, I would have a surplus of Carhartt. So just kind of keep track of companies and trends and ride the wave there. Like this, I'm listing a pair of bibs. It's not high-end brand, but it is boyfriend style, and boyfriend style is still very desirable. And it is bib shorts, which are also very desirable. I am always consistently selling Wranglers, which you tend not to think about selling Wranglers, but more specifically classic men's Wranglers I will sell fairly easily. I don't have any like, these are crazy bolo brands. You're going to sell them for like $100 or $50 or any of that stuff. $30 is probably my average price point. Now, I do have like some crazy sales, and over the years, I've had some really amazing sales. But they're once in a lifetime things. They're not things I'm expecting to do every month. One of the first years we started reselling, we found a pair of vintage Ray-Bans, and they were prescription Ray-Bans at a rummage sale, and vintage, like within the first couple years that they were being produced, and they were at a rummage sale for $2, and it was amazing. But I'm not going to go and find those vintage Ray-Bans. I'm not going to be able to go somewhere and be like, oh, look at this stockpile of vintage Ray-Bans in the first couple years that they were made. And they were really cool, and they were cat eye, and they were just awesome. And we sold those for a little over $200. But I'm not going to get that sale all the time. There was educational materials we ran across that have got a really good sale on, and we bought it as a lot, and I piecemealed it out, and I ended up making almost $500 on it, piecemealing it out and selling it package by package, because I was not going to get a teacher to buy this entire lot. However, I could get a homeschooling parent to buy one complete kit at a time. So I think they're called hexangles, but I had 15 complete sets. So I had a classroom box of 15 complete sets, books, and the manipulatives that come in a box. And I sold them as 15 sets, not as one classroom set, because I knew they would be more desirable as 15. So even though I bought it as a set, it was better to piecemeal it out one at a time. I currently in my garage have a full set of an encyclopedia from 1982, including all of the ancillary books, and I have not listed it yet because the thought of shipping it makes me want to cry. And I don't know if I'm going to list it or just redonate it because the thought of shipping it makes me want to cry. I got it in a large lot with other books. I could make $400 to $500 off of this set, this specific set, but again, I would have to ship it in 2 to 3 boxes, probably 3 boxes. It could go media mail, but it's so heavy, so heavy, and it takes up so much room. Is it a long tail item? Probably. So do I want to hold on to it even longer than I have now? I don't know. And that's something for us smaller sellers that we really have to think about. This money is helpful to my family, and on this channel, I think we're going to talk about how we use the money too, but not in like a braggy way. I hate like the YouTubers that are like, oh my gosh, I made all this money selling on eBay and I bought this brand new house, or look at me drive my Tesla that I made by selling on eBay and all of this. We very modestly use the money because we really don't have that much money coming in from eBay, but it's helped us, pay for our kids to do sports activities, pay for the equipment for the sports, pay for camps. There are several camps my children are going to this summer that this money is helping to pay for because kids are stupid expensive. And if someone told me before I had kids, I mean, you hear the like, it takes like $250,000 to raise a kid from birth to college. But if someone told me that, you know, just for my kids to play sports, it's going to cost $500 for them to play sports. Or that one summer camp for one kid is $300. So for the two of the kids that want to go to summer camp, I'm looking like for this summer close to $1,000 just for camp. So again, I'm not buying extravagance with this. And kind of how we're looking at this channel about how we move the decimal is, how do we get this extra income? How do we get this side income? And what do we use for it? How do we use it? So, and I don't want to turn it into a vlog like channel because I don't want to show my children, and they would probably do something really inappropriate or something. I don't know. I'm uneasy with showing my children, and I don't want to be a family vlogging channel or anything, but it might be nice to show you guys like this is what we're doing. I go back and forth on the taxes thing and showing the raw numbers of what's going on and how much we actually earn on this. So that might be something if you guys are interested in, I might do it, but I don't know. Otherwise, thank you for listening to this video. I hope you do inventory, and I hope eBay didn't lose 65 of your listings. And otherwise, I will see you on the next video.